What up, friends? We really do be living in darkness, though. But today, I'm going to be reviewing Scandal's latest album, Kiss from the Darkness. A lot of albums and artists about kissing recently. We're all just terminally down bad. This is the latest album by the J-rock girl band Scandal, released back in 2020. Scandal are a band that seem to know how to have fun and keep things interesting. Energizing instrumentals, sweet and powerful vocals, and general attitude and quirkiness are always a delight. This project continues to hone what makes them so good in the first place, but with some added flavor that brings in some newfound variety to the sounds. While the album loses a bit of consistency as a result of this, the amount of raw fun and catchiness that's present on these songs, it mostly makes up for that fact. Tonight is a super fun electronic rock opener. That guitar tone is just infectious, and the effect on the vocals just add to the erratic nature of this song. It has a groove to it though, and that high octane energy is just incredible along with that bass line too. The strings and effects that come during the chorus have a sort of dynamic edge to them, and it meshes with the rock element of the track surprisingly well. The sort of fantastical sounds fit the lyrics about wanting to have a life full of experiences and relationships, with a bunch of examples on what the girls actually want to do in life. Fuzzy is another noteworthy track in that it has a bit of a garage rock element to it here and there. It's one of the more straightforward rock tracks on the album, but goddamn, it's just so much fun. That chorus is just so catchy, and the pairing of the lighter and bright vocals actually meshes pretty well with the more raw instrumental. There's some pretty sick riffs on here, even if it's not the most technical thing out there. It gets the job done, and it does its job pretty well. They also do a pretty good job at making the instrumentals feel anthemic and powerful without stepping into the cliche territory that some groups tend to do pretty often. This is represented in the lyrics as well, which are all about living in the moment with a sweet scenario of Rena being with someone and wanting to stay with them even through the uncertainty that the relationship might bring. Now with You, the Ultimate Weapon, there's some pretty interesting electronic flourishes going on here. They play much more of a supporting role than you'd expect, making an electronic rock banger that doesn't sound too overproduced actually. With a chorus that would sound right at home in an anime opening, and some pretty suave bass lines as well, this track has a very unique energy to it. I also really like how the electronics get a bit more of a presence during the bridge, kind of bringing all of the instrumentals full circle. Next we get to Laundry Laundry, which is definitely one of the quirkiest songs on the album, but also one of my favorites. A cutesy pop rock song is not what I expected from this record, but I'll take it. Tomomi's vocals are perfect for this sort of song, having that charm and innocence that pairs with such a happy-go-lucky chorus. That guitar is also cheerful as hell, especially during the solo, and the main beat is super bouncy too. The lyrics revolve about such a mundane topic. It literally is about laundry, but they're delivered with so much heart that you just can't help but love it. I do love my slice of life stuff after all. Continuing the great song trend, we have Neon Town Escape. There's a bit of an 80s vibe with this one, with these smooth guitar riffs and swirling synth flowing behind Haruna's vocals. This is just the perfect soundtrack to a night on the town taken in the sights. That jazzy energy that comes in with the brass during the chorus, it just has such a special type of swagger to it. That brass outro is also just as incredible. Perhaps fittingly enough, the lyrics kind of deal with being down on your luck and trying to pick yourself up through alcohol or something or other while you're kind of walking through the town. All the while trying to salvage a relationship that's kind of just going down the drain. A tale as old as time. Definitely another one of my absolute favorites. Next up we got Ceramic Blue, a punchy and straightforward track, but there is no denying the energy on this one. There's a melodic touch to the vocals that kind of permeates throughout the song, and it's a nice companion to the otherwise very straightforward instrumental. The chorus is also so sweet and catchy, despite the sense of longing in the lyrics for someone or something that will make life just a little more bearable, which I get, because life is not. With Anniversary, the poppier melody on this one is a great breath of fresh air after some of the more heavy quote-unquote songs on the record. This track also has a certain flow to it that makes it stand out among the rest. Scandal once again proved to be a master of the chorus, with some soaring vocals that just evoke a feeling of bliss. The little chimes and bells are a very cute touch overall, and I especially like that they let the instruments breathe from time to time, each giving a little segment where each instrument kind of stands on its own. This is especially true with the bass during the verses and that killer guitar solo at the end. The feeling of happiness transcends to the lyrics as well, being about just that, happiness. Although I can't help but feel bad when she talks about seeing her ex with another girl, even if they've apparently broken up on pretty good terms. I'm such a fucking simp. Nearing the end, we have A.M.D.K.J. The bass just steals the show on this one. It is going off, while the guitar plays some quick and punchy riffs. This also lets the vocals go crazy too. It's just a very high energy song. They still manage to add some cool melodic tones, but damn, this one just hits. It goes into some weird, like, borderline ska sections here and there too. It's really entertaining and weird. The harder edge is also pretty fitting to the lyrical topics discussed on this one, as they seem to be talking about how Japan can kind of sugarcoat its news, policies, culture, you name it, and how they want people just, countries just be honest with themselves. And this is true even when there are, like, actual problems that need addressing, It sounds like another country I know. One that I'm shackled to. Now, finally, we get to Moon. It's a pretty interesting choice to end such a high energy album with a slower, more ballad-esque track. I will say it might not have been the best choice, as I would have preferred the album to go out with a bang, or at least, some sort of jazzy, groovy song kind of in the vein of Neon Town Escape. However, I do think the song is overall pretty decent. It has these sort of spacey synths and piano that are pretty fitting to the track's names and themes. I also really like how the drums and guitar kind of build up as the song progresses, and the lyrics about looking back on past loves is pretty fitting for the overall lyrical concepts on the record. This is a very fun project, and I enjoyed it a lot. I'm glad that the girls just went sort of off the wall and just threw in a bunch of songs and sounds without any regard to, like, restrictions or things like that. There's some pretty great arrangements here, whether they're going for straightforward rock or quirkier and groovier jams like Neon Town Escape and Laundry Laundry. As much as I love the variety, though, there are also some issues with consistency. I think this is most notable during the pacing of the track list itself, and also some songs being noticeably more dynamic and interesting than others. I don't really dislike any songs on this album, but there are some tracks that I didn't cover that I feel had their sounds done better by other tracks on the album, and even some of the ones that I liked actually maybe could have used a few extra elements thrown in here and there. All in all, though, this is a record to be proud of, and in my opinion, it kind of solidifies Scandal's place in the upper echelons of Japan's modern rock scene at the moment. I'm feeling a strong 8 for Kiss from the Darkness. Of course, we do have to talk about the album cover on this show, and this one's a weird one. I do like how sort of collagey it is. It has that sort of modern art aspect to it in that respect. I really like the color combinations. The white and yellow is not something that I usually see too often, but it's done really well here. I feel like they maybe should have honed in on that collagey aspect a little more, because it's a bit jarring seeing the sort of figure meshed with just the plain white background. But overall, I really like the concept, and I think it is pretty unique and fits the sort of off-the-wall nature of the record. But that is what I have to say about Scandal's latest album. What did you guys think about it? Is this one of those J-rock bands that you've been really looking after? Are they one of your favorites? They're definitely one of my favorite J-rock bands, and I think this sort of off-the-wall nature really fits their sound. Let me know if you agree. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell, ting-a-ring-a-ring, like Cherry Bullet says. And until the next one, farewell.